Hello, Internet Guitarists. My name is Nick, and it's not actually been that long since I posted a video to my YouTube channel. In fact, it's only been a day. And the reason why I am posting a video the day after I did the Valeton GP200 rant is because, surprisingly enough, Valeton has released an update to utilize NAM A2 within the GP range. I think right now it's just the GP200 and maybe the 100 and the 100 and the 200. I don't know. Either way, we're going to go over it, and I'm actually going to outline why this is probably the laziest implementation that Valeton could have done and why you should avoid it completely. So let's just switch screens here. So this is the Valeton website. We have basically the firmware and the software. Now, I'm going to start on the firmware here because yesterday I said that firmware 1.8 is quite old, and in fact, it's 8 months old at this point. And as you can see, despite there being a update, there is no new firmware, meaning nothing's being fixed like I ranted about in my video yesterday. But of course, I wouldn't expect Valeton to respond to that. At least not so quickly. But there's no like 1.8.1 firmware, meaning that there's nothing new going into the unit. So we of course need to now ask the question, okay, well, if they've pushed out an update to support NAM A2, then how can they do it without a new firmware? We go to the software, and we go into the GP200 series. We'll go Windows because we're on Windows. So you can see they have a 1.8.1 software. So this is the PC editor software for the Valeton GP200. And this is where the NAM A2 support has been put into. And what they're doing is not the right thing that I had mentioned yesterday, which they need to do, which was to implement a native NAM A2, or at least a native NAM A2 Lite. Instead, they're sticking with Snaptone, which is easily the worst NAM A2 implementation they could have done. So in order to get NAM A2 support, it's just going to convert it down to Snaptone, which means it's going to be on the same fidelity as the A1 models were when they were being converted to Snaptone, meaning ultimately there is no advantage to using the Snaptone or the NAM A2 support within the GP200 range, because converting it to Snaptone does lose a lot of fidelity. It loses a lot of characteristics which make the models sound as good as they do with NAM A2, and it's the laziest thing they could have done, and it's not the right implementation. The NAM A2 Lite, native NAM A2 Lite would have been the right implementation. So, if you're a GP200 owner or a GP100 owner or whatever, you can download the new software and start using that to convert NAM A2 files. But at this point, you may as well just be using NAM A1. It's going to be the same thing. It's going to sound the same because the conversion is stripping out everything that makes NAM A2 so awesome. So for that reason, I'm gonna stand by what I said yesterday. Given this newest development and what they didn't do, which was the native support for A2 or A2 Lite, and say to just avoid the GP200. Don't buy it. The unit isn't worth it anymore. If this is how they're going to be supporting NAM, then you don't want it. Go get a head rush core. Find a used one. It's going to be, maybe just a couple, $100 or $200 more than a brand new GP200, but you're going to get way better value. You're getting native NAM A2. You're getting full native NAM A2 standard support. You're not getting NAM A2 Lite. You're getting full NAM A2 support. Go buy the head rush unit. Go find another unit that does support native NAM A2 rather than converting it to some ridiculous format. But avoid the GP200. It's not a buy, given all of the problems I mentioned yesterday. The way in which MIDI, the lack of MIDI works, and the way that they've done this NAM A2 stuff is just horrendous. It is absolutely horrendous. It's unacceptable, because the NAM A2 Lite could have run natively on this unit, and they just didn't want to put the work in to actually make that natively work. So yeah, don't buy the GP200. In fact, even though I said if I sold mine, I'd miss it, this kind of solidifies it for me. I'm actually going to sell it. I'm going to be posting it. I actually just posted it on Facebook Marketplace right now. So I'm getting rid of it. I don't want it. If it's not native support for NAM, then it's just not worth my time. And if they're not going to be putting out new firmware to fix the issues with MIDI, then I have no use for this thing. I can't make it. I can't find a viable reason to use this anymore, even as a standalone unit. So I'll probably be replacing it with something else for like my backup unit, or as a standalone unit, or a lighter unit than the Stadium XL. So that's kind of that's it. That's the rant for today. Don't buy the GP200. Don't do it. Skip it. There's better units at this point out there for the price. Like I said, if we go to Amazon really quick, and we look at the Valeton GP200, you can see $499 for one with a gig bag, $479 for the black unit or the red unit, and then for the GP200X now the asking price is at $600. It's just not worth this money. It's not worth the money at all. Even these, actually they don't have the 150 or 180. There's the 180. I wouldn't even pay $250 for this, because they're converting to Snaptone. They're not doing a native NAM A2 implementation. Valeton's dead in the water. I think they need to be avoided for all of the people who are interested in these units. Go buy a Moore. Go buy, I'm not going to say Joyo, because Joyo's units are really old and it's just not great. But you can get other stuff for the money that's just better, and it's got a better NAM implementation. So don't buy GP200. It ain't worth it. Anyway, that's it for today. Have a good one.